Hey folks, I'm Becky with Enduring Finances. Welcome to my channel. Today we are taking a look at the complete transformation of my house, where I used to live, into my now currently running as a rental house. I've done a couple of different videos breaking down the things that I've done with it, breaking down the stump and just the initial where it was at and kind of where we were headed with it, but I kind of want to show you the last pieces that I did with that. So let's go ahead and jump into my breakdown here. So I think one of the biggest things that helped me doing this transition is my sister-in-law. She gave me a lot of advice on what I needed to fix and what I needed to spruce up and what colors I needed. And so one of the biggest things that I needed to do was paint what I was using as my office and get it into something more kind of like this room, a cream color. So I went ahead and got everything out, cleaned everything up, taped it off, and painted that from blue to a nice cream color there. And then we really started to focus in on the kitchen, and the kitchen needed a lot of work. We ended up taking down all the cabinets and sanded those down and painted them again, and then had to sand down the existing built-in cabinets in the walls and get those ready. And we painted them a very nice deep shade of green. It matches the front door of the house, which I already painted. And that took an absolutely large amount of time. We'd take them outside of the house to paint them and then bring them back in, and they had to dry, and we had to do a couple different coats. And then painted the rest of the walls in the kitchen the same cream color that is in through the main part of the house and the bedroom there. So a lot of taping, a lot of painting, started putting up some of the displays and kind of like a farm fresh feel that my sister-in-law was passing down on information on that. And then ran into a really hard part with the cabinet doors, because the hinges that came with the doors were painted over multiple times. Multiple times from different times that the cabinets had been painted and not taken off, and they just did not work anymore. And so it was really difficult to find cabinet hinges that fit these doors because they were inlet, so I needed a small amount of space in there to get them in. And then because they were so old, the part of the wood had started to rot, so I had to put in wood filler and repaint some things, and it was just a huge nightmare to get these cabinet doors back up. But all in all, I think it turned out looking actually really good. Some of the doors don't fit quite right, they don't close all the way, but they didn't do that before, so I don't feel bad about that. So I got the kitchen done with that. And then the second biggest project that I really had, and probably the biggest project of the remodel, was doing the bathroom. And I knew going in that the bathtub was absolutely terrible. They had put in this really like textured wall that didn't fit all the way. There was multiple gaps in it, especially on the bottom. I had recaulked it a couple times. I knew there was molding going on, and I knew going in I needed to fix that for a long-term renter. And so my brother helped me tear that down, and I thought everything was looking good until we realized that they had not used backer board, waterproofing backer board specifically for tubs and places where moisture is very prevalent. They had used regular drywall, and so I had to tear that out. And the idea was kind of to put in an initial tub insert and leave it like that. It did not work. We tried a couple different ones. The spacing of the window, because they jerry-rigged it to get the window in there, does not fit, and we couldn't get the seal quite right. And so then we had to go to plan F, which was retile the bathroom, which was a large jump in price. After we took down the drywall, we knew we needed backer board, but we found that we had rotted wood because moisture was getting in from the window and from underneath the tub. So we ended up having to cut out wood and then reinforce the window, put 2x4s back in, and reset that up. The wood was so rotted that I could take a screwdriver and just right on into it. So that took some finessing to restructure the wall itself. And then we got backer board, got that cut, got that put in, easy peasy there. And then we jumped into the tiling process, and my fiance helped me pick out tile as well as my sister-in-law. we had some help from a family friend who had some experience doing tile himself. And so he came in and really helped getting everything set up and giving some advice on how far to do the backer board and how to adjust things as needed. And a different family friend was nice enough to lend me their tile cutter, which is a tile saw, ginormous heavy thing that really saved our neck in that. And we spent quite a few different Saturdays there going through the process of making sure everything was set up and prepped and ready to go, and then sitting down and coming up with the idea of how we were going to move forward with the retiling, and kind of having a game plan for that, because you have to have a game plan before you go into it or else it will not work. And then it came down to tiling. So you got the mortar that goes on the back, or whatever it's called, got that set up, started cutting, and then just went with it. We ended up kind of changing the game plan, because the idea originally was to do the same tile all the way around, but it would have been really difficult and expensive to find the right tile, to find the right tool that goes through the tile for the sink, the faucet, and the handle, and the shower head. You have to buy specific tools to go through backer board and through tile, and those are very, very expensive for each individual one. And it was cheaper for us to go with more of like a small thing. So we did a strip down the mainstream that covered the faucet and the shower head and all those things, and tiled all the way around it. And then I went in after we did the base of it, and I did an outline around the tile, and that took a little bit of finessing. I had to go back and get more mortar to seal those on. I bought the wrong kind at first, so I had to go back and buy more because I messed it up. But we got that all up, and then I went through a few days later and sealed everything up, and then I had to go back in and caulk and paint. Luckily, I had some leftover blue paint from when I originally bought the house and we were painting things. My sister-in-laws were all giving me leftover paint and things, so I went with a nice light blue. It goes with the rest of the house, and kind of finished off the bathroom with that, redecorated a little bit. And then one of the last big things that I did was the deck itself. The back deck is old. It needs to be replaced. It's on dead store step, but it costs a lot of money to replace it, and the idea is to put a cement pad out there for patio and cut down the size drastically, but that's not going to happen right now. So went out, refixed some boards, did a lot of painting. It took me 2.5 gallons of paint to do the entire back deck, but got it up and running. I think it looks pretty good. Took some final photographs and tried to decorate as best as I could with new furniture and things that we got. And then this is the final walkthrough that I did right before my first renters on Airbnb came in through. So take a look, see the house as it is. And then here are some final photographs that I took, just showcasing the house for display on Airbnb, Furnish Finder, and VRBO, and different sites that I'm listing at. But overall, it was such a complicated process to get the house from where it was to this point, but now it is up and running. It is currently rented out at this moment to a family, and we're going to be changing through, and hopefully we keep up this pace moving forward. But this is the final status of my house with the big update, and there'll be more slow and individual updates as they come, but for now, this is the big one. The house is fully ready to go, and a ton of work and help went into it, and I am very, very grateful. So there you get it.